With Super Showdown nearly upon us, fans are wondering who will win at the WWE Saudi Super Show. Who's going to make a surprise appearance? Who's going to leave Saudi Arabia as WWE Universal Champion and WWE Champion? Join us now as Wrestlelamia predicts the winners and losers for the 2020 edition of Super Showdown. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. But let's waste no further time and get straight into the predictions. As first we look at the Universal Championship match between The Fiend and Bill Goldberg. There's no doubt that WWE treats its Saudi shows as the international version of WrestleMania. Case in point, The Fiend vs Goldberg, a dream match anywhere and one that could be a WrestleMania main event. WWE have done a masterful job building Goldberg up as someone who isn't falling into Wyatt's mind games and who looks ready to take whatever The Fiend can dish out. As always, the problem is whether Goldberg can dish out enough punishment to pin The Fiend, and judging from The Fiend's matches, Goldberg, or anyone else that we can think of for that matter, isn't up to the task. Look for Goldberg to beat down The Fiend, as it'll take about probably 10 spears and about 5 jackhammers, only for the Universal Champion to shrug off the hurt before putting Big Bad Bill away. It's unlikely that Dollar Bill will eat a mandible claw to lose the match, but if he does, it'll help put The Fiend over even more, something the WWE needs to keep doing. When you have an act as hot as The Fiend, you don't want to give up when it's making money for a company struggling to find a breakout act. After the match, fans could see some fireworks as there are hints WWE is going to go with the money match of John Cena vs The Fiend at Mania rather than the long-rumoured Roman Reigns vs The Fiend match. While Cena has previously said he's done appearing in Saudi Arabia, anything can happen in the WWE, so with some luck, Vince may be able to persuade John to fly out on his corporate jet and make a special appearance. If that happens, look for the crowd to lose its mind. But our prediction? The Fiend retains the Universal Championship. Next up is the WWE Championship match between champion Brock Lesnar versus this month's Sacrificial Lamb, aka Ricochet. It's well known that Brock Lesnar has certain opponents he likes to wrestle, as seen when he asked to wrestle Finn Balor at 2019's Royal Rumble, and now Ricochet has likely been handpicked to serve as his sacrifice to the wrestling gods as he prepares for his WrestleMania 36 match against the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre. The WWE has been building Ricochet up with some wins on Raw after he earned his title shot in a triple threat match, but the reality is that Ricochet was pushed as a mid-carder at best for so long, it's difficult to take this one seriously as anything other than showing the beast incarnate as an unstoppable monster. Ricochet can flip and flop all he wants, but the end result is that he'll be counting the lights and probably coughing up a lung after Lesnar pays him back for the dick punch at the Royal Rumble that helped Drew McIntyre eliminate him. Like the Fiend vs Goldberg match, this one could see a post-match segment that leads into WrestleMania. When it comes to this match, the real interest lies in whether Drew McIntyre, or Tyson Fury as we speculated in our Wild News and Rumors video, maybe shows up to save Ricochet from certain death. But our prediction is that Brock Lesnar retains the WWE Championship. Let's face it, it's one of the most predictable matches on the card. Next up, the Raw Tag Team Championship match as champions Seth Rollins and Murphy take on the Street Profits. The Street Profits should have no problem defeating the Monday Night Messiah and Murphy. The problem is that they also have to deal with the presence of the AOP. While we understand why the tag team of Rollins' faction aren't wearing the gold, the WWE wants some gold around Rollins' waist and to put Murphy over, it's still a silly decision. Pity the Street Profits, a team that should be battling another talented team like, say, the AOP, but instead are stuck making Rollins and Murphy look good. At least the AOP should have something to do, as we predict they'll be on hand to provide to keep the belts on Rollins and Murphy. Let's hope that this isn't the end of the Street Profits' current bid for the tag titles, as they deserve those belts. But our prediction? Seth Rollins and Murphy retain the Raw Tag Team Championships. Next up, the SmackDown Women's Championship match as champion Bayley takes on Naomi. You may not realize it, especially from the scarcity of title defenses in the WWE's women's division, but Bayley has been SmackDown Women's Champion for 9 months. She's faced a variety of opponents, but her biggest challenge to date has to be Naomi, a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion herself. This is not only going to be a history-making match, as this is the first time a WWE Women's Championship has been defended in Saudi Arabia, but an excellent match as both superstars can go. The WWE has been taking its time building Bayley up as a credible champion, as opposed to her disastrous first title reign, and Bayley has done a great job with what she's been given, turning into a believable heel and someone who knows all the shortcuts to retain her championship. Look for both women to put on a clinic, but for Bayley to showcase her heel skills as she steals a win from Naomi, possibly leading to a rematch at the Showcase of the Immortals. However, with rumours of a Women's Elimination Chamber match to determine the #1 contender for the SmackDown Championship, we'll have to wait until 8th March. But our prediction, Bayley retains the SmackDown Women's Championship. Next up, the Intercontinental Championship is on the line as champion Braun Strowman takes on Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, Braun Strowman versus Shinsuke Nakamura doesn't sound like the technical clinic one thinks of, such as Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect, but the monster among men is likely being groomed for a feud with the recently returned Sheamus, so this match is just a chance for the fans in Saudi Arabia to see Strowman, a clear crowd favourite and 2018's greatest Royal Rumble winner if you hadn't forgotten. Without Sami Zayn present, it's likely we'll see Cesaro acting on Nakamura's behalf to provide outside interference and create the illusion that the King of Strong Style has a shot at upsetting Strowman for the belt. Don't expect a 5-star classic, but this one should be entertaining with Strowman throwing in a few comedy spots as he's shown a knack for doing. Our prediction, Braun Strowman retains the Intercontinental Championship. Next up, a steel cage match between King Corbin and Roman Reigns. Now, the feud has been enjoyable, but WWE have milked this feud far too much. Now, we understand that WWE wants a big match as well as a gimmick match for Super Showdown, but this feud has been going on so long that fans want to change the channel when both of them come on. But hopefully this is the last match between the two. Roman Reigns and King Corbin both need to move on to whatever plans the WWE has for them at WrestleMania, a question many fans are asking. While it seems like the WWE has something big for Reigns, either a match with a Fiend or Goldberg, there's been no word on what's next for Corbin, a definite star on the rise, but one who needs another big program to continue his ascent. The cage match stipulation, of course, is there to prevent outside interference, which means fans should be on the lookout for outside interference on Corbin's behalf and an appearance by the Usos to even things out as the big dog proves supreme. Our prediction, Roman Reigns escapes the cage and wins the match. Next up, a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match as champions The New Day of Kofi Kingston and Big E take on The Miz and John Morrison. The WWE's latest half-baked attempt at a babyface run with The Miz is over, and with John Morrison back in the WWE, the promotion made the right call in reuniting one of the best teams from the Ruthless Aggression era to take on an equally talented team. Although the WWE hasn't been building this one up as much, it's hard to look at this match as anything less than a dream match given both teams' reputations. They've built this program up well ever since Morrison's return to the WWE, and on paper this could be the best match of the card. Both teams should dazzle with their combination of high-flying and technical abilities, but look for The Miz and Morrison to steal a win, setting up a series that runs at least up until WrestleMania 36. How does a ladder match between these two sound? That's what I hear, Vince fainting. And finally, the Gauntlet match for the Tuwaiq trophy between Rey Mysterio, R-Truth, AJ Styles, Andrade, Erick Rowan and Bobby Lashley. Vince McMahon loves Gauntlet matches, and you can be sure the fans in Saudi Arabia will enjoy getting to see these assorted stars, including crowd favourites like Rey Mysterio and R-Truth. This match is an interesting combination of stars, as you have high flyers and powerhouse wrestlers within it. While it would be easy to say that Rey Mysterio and R-Truth don't stand a chance given their usual role of putting younger talent over, not to mention Rowan, whose current career status seems to be carrying a cage to the ring and counting the lights, this is Saudi Arabia where it's all about pleasing the fans. R-Truth could win the Tuwaiq trophy and it wouldn't affect his career back home, not that Truth needs any titles as he's an entertainment force all on his own. Unlike the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, this one has all the makings to be a fantastic match, and with any luck, fans will get to see some matches involving superstars who don't normally square off, such as Andrade vs AJ Styles or Rowan vs Bobby Lashley. With this taking place in Saudi Arabia, the WWE should have some fun and test out some potential feuds for down the road. How we see it, AJ Styles will win the Tuwaiq trophy, then the lights go out and The Undertaker appears, setting up his match between him and AJ Styles for WrestleMania 36. Well, that's our prediction at least. But before we go, WrestleLamia wants its viewers to consider this. Now, the WWE talks about wanting to run a pay-per-view in the UK, but complains that it can't run a show due to the logistics. Nonetheless, the WWE is running a major show in Saudi Arabia, then flying its talent back for Friday Night SmackDown, nothing short than a logistical nightmare waiting to happen. It's clear WWE could run a pay-per-view in the UK if they wanted to, but they're not willing to spend the extra time and effort to do so. But there you have it, guys, our picks for the 2020 Super Showdown event. Do you guys agree with the picks? Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.